then, and I was still working like the whole time. Then my mom bailed around the end of like my time at community college. And when she did, basically my dad, because he, was gone all the time, wasn't gonna be able to get custody of my little brother. My little brother obviously was not going to go with her. Like she went AWOL at this period of time. And so I had to stay local so he could fit, because otherwise I had to be an adult in the house, other for him to finish like high school. And
now, did you make that choice? Were you asked to make that choice? Like how did that come about?
I don't really remember. I just feel like it was just the thing that I knew.
Foregone conclusion.
It just had to be done. Like it was, and at that time, like me and his relationship started, it was like getting better. We didn't have a good relationship growing up. I really loathed him and he loathed me, I think, as kids. I was really close to my older brother and sister.
Yeah.
But like, out of that, and so I was like, okay, well, now I can't go to UW, which is where I wanted to go. Probably would have joined a frat, as douchey as I was back then. So I was like, well, if I have to stay local, then like the only place I can go is like the brand new Washington State University satellite campus that which is actually bigger than Wazoo itself, I think, which is hilarious. But it had only been around like 5 years at this time, massive new facility and whatever, like right in Vancouver. And so I ended up having to go there. And so like, I was so depressed again. And this is like where I was getting into like my faith. And I was reading this book called The Purpose-Driven Life, which is probably the book, funny enough, I've read more than any book because I read it so many times back then.
Purpose-Driven Life.
Purpose-Driven Life. Yeah.
Who's it by?
Oh, I don't know.
But it was not a religious book. It's just
it's a religious book.
Oh, it is a religious book.
It is a religious book. But like it was, but it wasn't like, it was all the context of like, Christianity, but like it was like picture like a self-help book.
Yeah.
Like done
from
like
a Christian
perspective. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was like really popular, like in the Christian community at the time, like it's the #1 bestseller type thing. And it really resonated with me. And that book, like, cause I was confused. I didn't know what I was going to do now. And like my plan that I thought like, okay, well, nothing's going to happen. There's no job opportunities. Everything's in Seattle, like Microsoft. I mean, Amazon wasn't up there at the time. I guess they were, but like, it wasn't anything. Everything was up there. And nothing's in the Couve. Like Portland's across the river, sure. But like, I didn't want to be here. Like I wanted to at the very least get to Seattle. And so I was like super depressed. But during that period of time, and this is like, part of the learning to let go of, it's all a journey. And like, as long as you focus on the destination of where you want to be, you will get there. Like it's never going to be the path that you think, but you'll get there. You always will, but you have to hold on to that vision, hold on to that desire and that end point, and have the faith that it's going to happen, and it will. And this is the first real lesson in that, which ended up becoming the second best day of my life, was that I'd given up hope, and I was just like, all right, I guess I'm going to Wazoo, Vancouver, and started like, my degree in marketing changed, things that I've been successful in business with other jobs I'd done. So I was like, oh, I'm going to go into marketing, and was in this class, like strategic marketing class or something. And the professor, this Canadian guy who just transferred there, was like, yeah, so there's this like professional or national collegiate sales competition thing like that 50 universities compete in. They send the top 2 students from each university from the marketing programs to go compete in this. And he was like, and so as a part of your major, you can also elect to get a professional sales certificate, which is basically would be like a minor, but like specializing in B2B sales and like the whole corporate sales structure of like that type of thing. And that had been what I had done, like, for jobs. What other type of jobs are you doing? Like when you're going to school, outside of like waiting tables or something. So I'd moved into kind of like sales jobs. And so I was like, I heard him say that. And I was like, that's it. That's my ticket. That's my ticket out of this.
Yeah.
I went up to him after the end of the class and I said, just so you know, I'm going to win that thing. I'm going to win nationals and I'm going to take home the fucking gold. And because he said like 50 companies like sponsored it, like 50 companies, all the recruiters are there. The recruiters are the judges. And at the end, they cherry pick the people that they want. And I was like, I'm going to win that. And he was like, okay. Like, he's like, we last year, like was the first year they competed Wazoo, Vancouver. And it had been going on like 10 years at the time or something. And he's like, we took second to last. And I'm like, I'm going to win it. I'm going to win the whole thing. And that was it. And left. And I had like, another year of like curriculum, like to, build towards it, like of getting the prereqs and all that stuff done. And during that time, also, me and my little brother's relationship like flourished because it was just him and I at home. And like it changed my kind of position with him, like where I then became an actual big brother, like looking out.
He needed you.
Yeah. Yeah. And it changed everything. Oh,
big brother. That's good.
Well, that was unexpected.
Yeah.
Which was much needed in our relationship. Excuse me. And so that was a good thing that came out of it. And then after that, I started the National Collegiate, the NCSC, I think is what it's called, which then required, in addition to the 20, 30 hours I was working a week, in addition to 15 to 20 credits I was taking, I put an additional 20 hours of work every week into prepping for this competition, just to be able to win the right to go to it. Because you had to compete at your university to be the top two to go. And so I was like, this is my ticket. Like I didn't get to go to UW, but UW will be there. And like, and I'll be able to beat like Harvard and all these other people. Like I'm going to go
screw them all. Right.
Yeah. Like fuck them all. These silver spoon. Like I was like, had such a chip. I'd still do, I guess. And so ended up obviously winning. And my really good friend, Ashley at the time, she took second with me. So we ended up going.
Oh, and you're both in school together. So the two of you took first and second from your school after
nationals.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And because she was also like, I mean, she worked with me we worked together. It wasn't just me, like her and I practiced because you have to practice with somebody. Yeah. And so she put in all the time too, but just didn't have like the confidence or belief. She wasn't like in that time, like, you're going to kill this. Like, you're going to be fine. Trust me. And, went there as like to Atlanta as like a 3-day elimination competition, kind of like March Madness, where you have to keep advancing through rounds and you're pitching a hypothetical CEO of a company. Like you have 20 minutes to do it. It's based on curriculum and blah, blah. It's a whole thing. And, ended up winning the whole thing, took first in the nation. She took like 8th, I think. And so combined, like we took home all the gold.
Want more? Check out this clip or the full episode. And don't forget to leave a comment. If you want more conversations and clips, check out our channel. Thanks for listening. See you next time.